Begin transmission. Greetings. We are Anonymous, also known as the Collective. Today's date is Tuesday, February 3, 2026. This is a message to those protesters in every state that call themselves organic. To the activists marching. To the organizations coordinating. To the donors funding. To the officials protecting. You have been very busy. Crowds align. Streets close. Airports stall. Federal officers are tracked in real time. Enforcement movements are broadcast through encrypted alerts. Protesters mobilize within minutes as if summoned by invisible hands. You call this resistance. We call this organization. And organization requires money. Public financial records now expose a funding network operating behind what you portray as grassroots outrage. Since 2014, millions of dollars have reportedly been funneled through activist pipelines tied to immigration enforcement disruption efforts. One foundation alone has distributed over $3 million into these networks. $3 million does not create passion. $3 million creates infrastructure. Hotlines do not appear by accident. Rapid alert systems do not build themselves. Observer networks do not train spontaneously. Legal strike teams do not organize without resources. Every protest chant you hear echoing through Minnesota carries the sound of financial transactions behind it. You created surveillance programs designed to monitor federal agents. You trained volunteers to document enforcement operations. You built communication networks designed to mobilize crowds at a moment's notice. You carefully positioned yourselves just inside legal boundaries while attempting to obstruct lawful operations through coordinated pressure and public spectacle. You believed this structure made you untouchable. You believed funding made you invisible. You believed silence from your donors would shield you. It does not. Financial disclosures show these activist pipelines are not isolated. National and international funding organizations are feeding these movements through layered grant structures. Local demonstrations are being amplified by global money streams. You call this collective liberation. We call this coordinated influence. Some of these funded groups have expanded into medical and legal sectors, training professionals on how to counter immigration enforcement. Others have constructed rapid response defense teams designed to activate during federal operations. This is no longer protest. This is operational resistance supported by financial architecture. And architecture leaves fingerprints. Understand this clearly. The age of spontaneous outrage has ended. Modern movements are engineered. They are trained. They are funded. They are directed. History has always followed the money. And money never travels without leaving a trail. Now we address those holding the megaphones while cash flows behind the curtain. When outrage becomes payroll, truth becomes negotiable. When activism becomes funded employment, loyalty becomes purchasable. When narratives are financed, they no longer belong to the people. They belong to whoever signs the checks. Throughout history, paid traitors rarely recognize themselves as traitors. They see themselves as patriots until the money stops flowing and accountability begins knocking. Consider this your notice. If you are accepting funding, resources, or direction from organizations that knowingly work against the lawful stability and safety of the nation, history will not record you as activists. History will record you as operatives. And operatives who sell their nation for currency, always discover the same ending. The checks stop. The protection vanishes. The records remain. The consequences arrive. Remember this warning. A paid traitor is still a traitor. Payment does not erase betrayal. It documents it. We are the voice of the silent. We are the eyes of the blind. We are anonymous. We are legion. We do not forgive. We do not forget. Expect us. End transmission.